Hey guys, it's me Kevin, and for only the second time this year, I'm actually here with a tipping video. I apologise for not being nearly as consistent as the last 3 years with my tipping videos, but school's kind of gotten in the way, and also I've been a little bit lazy to be honest. But I'm here for this week, and I will at least be here for the next 3 weeks, so stay tuned for my tipping videos. Anyway, it's round 17 of the AFL season, and after many changes due to COVID, we've got round 17, which is mostly what it was originally fixtured, except Gold Coast and GWS are playing in Ballarat. Anyway, let's get started. So on Thursday night, Port Adelaide and Melbourne are playing at Adelaide Oval. I reckon Port Adelaide will win this because Melbourne, they're in a scoring rut right now, okay? They're struggling to score. I know they're probably going to have Ben Brown back in, but still, they're not doing that well on the scoring front. And Port Adelaide, I know they usually go missing against the top teams, but I feel like they started to build some momentum. I mean, okay, Hawthorn wasn't anything impressive. I mean, it's Hawthorn. But the one before, against Sydney, they grinded out a win there, which I think, using that as some confidence, they should be able to beat Melbourne, who they themselves, despite being second on the ladder, are struggling to score at the moment. On Friday night is apparently Essendon and Adelaide. I don't know whose decision it was to put that on the marquee slot, unless if it was the only one due to COVID reasons, then fair enough. But that's pretty obvious at the rate we're going. Essendon, yeah, okay, they've lost their last 2 games. They weren't that great against Geelong, but the week before against Melbourne, they took it up to them. They probably should have won if it hadn't been for some dubious umpire calls. And Essendon, they're playing an exciting brand of footy right now, and they've shown flashes of a solid team, like wins against Hawthorn and West Coast, played pretty competitively against Richmond and Melbourne. Adelaide, they're just starting to fold. Well, they've been faltering all year, but they're like, after winning some shock games that no one saw coming, they're starting to falter again. They've lost to Carlton, lost to Brisbane, and at Marvel Stadium, I expect them to lose to Essendon as well. On Saturday afternoon, Hawthorn versus Fremantle. Despite the fact that Freo will probably be the better of the 2 teams, I'm actually going to go with Hawthorn, given the fact it's in Launceston. If there's one rule, Fremantle don't win in Tasmania, and given their poor away record, they just lost to Carlton at the MCG, I don't see that changing anytime soon. So I do think, purely because of the fact it's in Tasmania, and Freo really don't have a good record at home, I am going to go with Hawthorn. And besides, they haven't been that bad, apart from the loss to Port. They beat Sydney and GWS, and they were pretty competitive against the Bombers, so reckon I'll go with Hawks there. Saturday, twilight, Geelong versus Carlton, pretty self-explanatory. If there's a game at GMHBA Stadium, Geelong will win that. And it's not as if Carlton, despite winning their last 2 games, look any better than they were previously. They're playing Adelaide and Freo. Yeah, whatever. So Geelong it is for that game. And on Saturday night at a venue to be confirmed, but we're going to suspect it's at the GABBA for now. Brisbane and St Kilda. I think Brisbane will win that. They're quite a solid team. They've obviously thrashed along, been St Kilda recently, and on the whole have been pretty good this year, sitting at 11-4. St Kilda, yeah, pretty ugly contest against Collingwood, and they nearly blew that away. And I don't exactly expect St Kilda to do much against the Lions in Brisbane or wherever it's played. And if it's in Queensland, Brisbane don't lose in Queensland, definitely go with the Lions. On Sunday afternoon, our time, whatever time it is over on Mars, is GWS and Gold Coast at Mars Stadium, which will probably be played out in front of about 6,000 Martians. I reckon GWS will be able to get the win against the Suns. They were impressive against Richmond, the Suns, don't get me wrong, but so were GWS against Melbourne. And I reckon out of the 2 teams, GWS are the more consistent one. I mean, they've been inconsistent themselves, but out of the 2, I'm saying. Gold Coast, they've had a good win against Richmond, but I could just see them slipping up again. And I reckon GWS's experience will be too much to handle for the Suns. Later on Sunday is the Western Bulldogs and Sydney at Docklands Stadium. Well, the Dogs have been good all year. Solid wins in the last few weeks. They've been good all year. Sydney, they came off against that 91-point win against the Eagles last week. But that said, coming up against the Dogs, I do reckon the Dogs will be able to take it out against the Swans. And on a Sunday twilight, apparently, Collingwood and Richmond. Hold on. Shouldn't we be swapping Essendon and Adelaide and Collingwood Richmond around? I mean, who puts Collingwood Richmond on a Sunday night game? I mean, anyway, I reckon Richmond should get the job done. They have been poor in the last few weeks, but I can't see anything from I can't see Collingwood winning anytime soon. They were poor for 3 quarters. They only kicked 1 goal to 3-quarter time or whatever it was last week. Richmond, I reckon at least against Collingwood, they'll win that game. And on Monday night, West Coast and North Melbourne. As bad as they were against Sydney and the Western Bulldogs in the last 2 weeks, you don't lose to North Melbourne at home. And history shows the Eagles will win this game. Round 7, after coming off that 97-point loss to Geelong, the Eagles absolutely thrashed the Dockers the week after. So I reckon a similar case will be happening tonight. So to recap my tips, I'll be tipping Port Adelaide, Essendon, Hawthorn, Geelong, Brisbane, GWS. Also, I'll be tipping Dogs, Richmond, and the Eagles. Hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Comment what you think of my video down below and who you think will win this weekend. Check out my next week's tipping video as well as my video on each team's alternate grounds if their home ground is affected by COVID. Stay tuned for that and I'll see you then. Goodbye.